Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Thank you for tuning in. Today we turn our attention to a message from Maurice Benard, actor, advocate, and human being, who is reaching out and asking for our help. When someone of his stature, known for his role and candor, asks for input, it deserves our attention. He's not simply playing a part. He's inviting us into something alive, vulnerable, and meaningful. Maurice Benard is perhaps best known for his long-running television role, but beyond the character, he's built a real-life commitment to speaking openly on the subjects that many shy away from. He is preparing an upcoming episode of his podcast, and he's inviting fans and followers to send in thoughtful questions for his next guest. It was a simple call. I need 5 questions you want to ask. I need them by Sunday. This request transforms his audience from passive watchers into active contributors. It flips the script. It says you matter. Your voice matters. Think for a moment about what that means. When someone says, "Help me shape the conversation," they create a space where walls down, authenticity rises. Maurice is doing just that. He isn't simply submitting a marketing prompt. He is offering a genuine invitation. And in doing so, he is reminding us that connection, empathy, engagement, these aren't passive. They aren't automatic. They require participation. You may ask, why does this matter? It matters because when someone like Maurice leans into vulnerability, when he invites input from viewers and listeners, it signals something deeper. Mental health given a platform. Real human experiences given voice. For years, Maurice has shared his own struggles and victories, about diagnosis, about treatment, about the raw edges of life. He's done so to remind us that even those people we see on screen, who appear larger than life, are human too. He's done so to remind us we are not alone. Let me share how this invitation plays out. On one level, it invites curiosity. What would you ask? What has been left unasked? What insight would you seek if you had a moment with someone you admire? On another level, it invites ownership, that your question can shape the dialogue, that your voice can influence the narrative. And on a third level, it invites reflection. It asks each one of us to stop and think, what do I want to know? What do I wish others knew? What am I holding back? Maurice's recent call asked for 5 questions to be submitted by a deadline. He posted the call publicly on social media, directing fans to his channel. It was a clear, direct message. He didn't hide behind mystery. He didn't make it ambiguous. He asked. And more importantly, he paused to listen. That is rare. In a world where content often means broadcast, rarely is it structured as dialogue rather than monologue. Now let's consider how you might respond. A good question is often one rooted in curiosity and openness. A great question is one rooted in humility and desire for growth. When you craft a question for Maurice or for his guest, consider, what is the story beneath the story? What has not yet been asked? What would I want someone to ask me if I were sitting there? You might ask, what moment in your life changed your perspective entirely? Or when you felt you could no longer carry on, what saved you? Or how do you keep going when the lights go off and loneliness weighs in? These types of questions open pathways into truth rather than simply facts. What Maurice is doing is more than a call for questions. It's a model. He says, we are better when we face together. He says, your voice is necessary. He says, help me navigate this dialogue, not as a producer handing a script, but as a partner in conversation. This is powerful because it shifts the dynamic from I'm the expert and you're the audience to we're co-explorers. It invites vulnerability from all sides. Let's also reflect on why this matters in the broader context of mental health. Maurice has spoken in the past candidly about his own diagnosis of bipolar disorder, about moments where he contemplated ending his life, about the journey to finding help, understanding, and purpose. His transparency gives permission to himself and to us to embrace imperfection, to admit when things are not okay. And when he opens a platform to public participation, he extends that permission to others. You have a voice. You have the right to ask. You have the right to participate in building a narrative of healing, truth, connection. That's a rare gift, but it requires action. So how can you help? First, submit questions if you're able. Think about what you would ask, whether of Maurice, his guest, or yourself. Be thoughtful, be honest. Avoid generic, when did you first? And go deeper, what kept you going when you couldn't? What security do you cling to when the lights fade? How do you forgive yourself when you feel you've lost? These open questions create real conversation. Second, engage in the result. You might watch the episode, reflect on the discussion, share your insights with others. Third, carry the spirit forward. Because what Maurice is doing doesn't have to stop there, it can spark something in you. A conversation with a friend, reaching out, vulnerability. We live in times when pretense is easy and authenticity is rare. When people feel watched but not heard. When one-way broadcasting dominates. Maurice is saying, let's invert that. Let's lean into listening. Let's lean into human connection. He's asking for our help, and that is the invitation. If you think you have nothing to offer, remember, a question is a seed. It may grow. It may create something unexpected. Your participation matters. Now, if you're feeling hesitant, maybe you're thinking, what if my question is dumb? What if no one cares? I want you to pause. The fact that you care at all means you matter. The fact you're thinking means you're alive with possibility. Maurice isn't just collecting questions, he's inviting honesty. He doesn't need showy, perfect queries. He needs real ones. He needs you. He needs me. Because in that network of honest voices, healing begins. And if you're not submitting questions, you can still help. You can share his message. You can bring someone into the conversation. You can give a nod that says, I see you. I hear you. I'm open. That openness amplifies what Maurice is doing. It creates space for someone who has felt alone. It creates the possibility of linkage, from the screen to the soul, from viewer to human being, from passive to active. What Maurice is modeling is more than a podcast. It's a way of being. It's an invitation to show up, to speak, to listen, to engage. He's leveraging his platform to dismantle walls. He's redirecting our attention away from spectacle and toward substance. He's asserting that participation is not optional. It's essential if we are going to heal, connect, move forward. So as you go about your day, consider this. What question could you ask today of someone else? What question could you ask yourself? And more importantly, what question would you ask if you believe someone really was listening? Because that's the posture Maurice wants. An open ear, an open heart. He's saying, I'm listening. Will you ask? And when I ask you back, will you answer? In closing, help isn't always about grand gestures. It can be a question, a moment of attention, a willingness to show up. Maurice Benard knows that. And now he is extending that invitation to you. Don't let it pass. If you have a question, ask it. If you have thoughts, share them. If you have silence, offer a word. This is a moment not just to watch, but to engage. Not just to follow, but to participate. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being part of this conversation. We all have something to offer, something to ask, and something to listen for. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for all of your updates.